Just remember in the winter, far beneath the bitter snow, lies the seed.
Go ahead and stand up for me. As I take these cuffs off, just go ahead and put your hands down at the waist, okay? You know, these, especially these types of cuffs, aren't the most comfortable.
I don't think they're really designed for comfort.
Nope, they're not. Okay. You're not going to give us any problems being out of the cuffs.
Mm-hmm.
Really don't look like the type that would.
I don't think it would really be to my benefit anyway.
Go ahead and take your water.
Thanks.
Okay. Today's date is July 16th, and my name is Detective Rachel Blaney, and I'm here with Jodi Arias. Is that how you say your last name? Arias. Okay, I'm sorry. This is just formality, and this is, you know, if I have to, you know, write up a report of what we talked about, at least I know word for word, you know, what you said, and there's no mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's for your own protection or good that
Right.
we record it. And before we go any further, I need to read your Miranda rights again, just to make sure that you understand. You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
Yes.
Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to the presence of an attorney before and during any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you free of charge before any questioning if you want. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The reason that I wanted to talk with you this morning, there's a couple of reasons actually. I have been privy to the investigation and all of the evidence in this case, and to your conversation with Detective Flores yesterday. And there's really no, let me say this, it's obvious to me that, you're not our typical suspect. You come from a good home, a good family. Your parents obviously care about you. That was evident, when they talked to him yesterday. And you're a bright girl. Probably more intelligent than you were letting on yesterday. And there's no question in my mind or any of the other investigators' mind that you were the person that took Travis's life. But what I need to know, or what I'd like to know, and give you the opportunity to do, is determine whether, you're a cold-blooded, cold-hearted murderer who slaughtered this guy, or are you somebody that got caught up in circumstances and things got out of control? Because I think that is what happened, honestly, in looking at everything and all of the facts and talking to people. I think in every person that anybody could be capable of harming another person. I think it's in our nature, and generally most people suppress that. But I think given the right circumstances and the right time and the right place, anybody could be capable of harming another person. I see that on a regular basis. What I generally see are the cold-hearted, ruthless types. What I don't see very often, Jodi, are people like yourself that are intelligent and spiritual and caring, and so I tend to believe that it was an incident of circumstance, if you will. It looks as if this guy Travis befriended you. You got into this relationship, and it certainly looks to me like he took advantage of your generosity and your kindness. One of the other detectives had described him to you as a player. And I don't think that that's very far off from everything that I've seen. And I don't think there's a woman out there that hasn't been treated badly or taken advantage of by a man like that. And I'm hoping, because you come from a good family and because you have a decent background, I'm hoping that you'll be smart about things and make some choices for yourself to help better your situation. When this hits the news, and it'll go to the media, do you want to be portrayed as that cold-blooded, cold-hearted murderer? Because the media loves that. That's not, that won't be our words or their words when they do a press release, but that's what, the media will take a look at the facts and that's what they'll portray it as. Or do you want to be portrayed as a person that didn't mean to have any of this happen? It just got out of hand and you're remorseful? Which way do you want to go? How do you want to portray yourself? You're a businesswoman, is that correct? Okay. And you have a couple of different businesses going, right? So you're a smart girl, Jodi, smart woman. You got to have a lot on the ball to be, your own businesswoman and balancing everything the way you do, because it sounds like you got a lot going on and a lot of juggling and balancing. You're obviously very organized, well-read.
I would say well-read, but not organized.
Not organized? Why so?
I procrastinate, so papers pile up and things don't get filed on time, and I lose stuff, and then I find it later when I don't need it anymore. When I do need it, I can't find it. So
okay.
Just general stuff like that.
Well, maybe you're not as organized as I had thought. certainly
I
human.
try. I mean, I go through these periods where it's like today is devoted to organization, and then I'll get organized, and it'll be that way for a little while, and I'll kind of let it slide, and then I'll have to go back and clean up again.
All right. So I think that, you know, the reason you're here is I think that you should have just at least one more shot at, you know, the opportunity to do the right thing. You know, you say that you're spiritual, or those are my words, not yours, but that's certainly what I got out of, you know, reading everything and looking at everything, that, you know, you have some sort of relationship with God, or, you know, some sort of deep spirituality, and so did Travis. And it sounds like, you know, you cared about what Travis's family thought of him, maybe what they thought of you. I don't know whether you ever met them.
I met his grandmother a few times.
Were they good people?
Yeah, wonderful. And I didn't meet his family at his services, but I saw some of his sisters, and he talked about them a lot. And he talked about how proud he was of all of his brothers and sisters, because they come from a rough background, but they've all done really well.
I would imagine that keeping all of this in, I can only imagine, because I've never been there myself, but I can only imagine that keeping all of this in is just tearing you apart inside. It's not hard to tell that. You know, you have portrayed yourself as being very strong, but you can see it in your eyes, Jodi.
It's not like, you know, it's not that I'm in my dad said that Detective Flores told him that I was just cold yesterday. And it's not that I'm cold, I'm just resolute. And it's not that I haven't cried, it's all I've done for the last month. You know, and I've got to go to work part-time, and at my job I need to be a happy, cheery person. So I've got to suppress all of that and put on an act while I'm on the clock. And if I'm going to get any more clients for my business, I've got to be an attractive person in my personality. So it's not like I haven't been grieving him since I heard about him.
Well, you know, you have an image. I understand that. You have an image to uphold, and you have to portray, you know, that you're a together, savvy woman. You know, not somebody who's fallen apart. So that's understandable.
I fall apart when you aren't looking, and when it's at night and I go to sleep. Travis always used to call me, not always, but very frequently. So that's the hardest part, is when I go to sleep at night, and if he wasn't calling, then I'd just call him, and sometimes I would just call anyway to just hear his voicemail.
So let me go back to, you know, the choices that you have, because again, there's no doubt in anybody's mind what happened that day. There's no doubt that you were involved that day that Travis died.
Listen, I know that I wasn't involved in Travis's death.
Okay.
And
But hold on.